Third Shift presents The Imposter's Guide to Gaming, your quick fix for gaming news. Now, here are your hosts, Eric and Matt.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to IG2G. This is episode 40. I'm your host, Matt. With me, as always, is Eric. And hey, do you like cowboys? Do you like shipwrecks that you got to investigate? Do you like breaking thrones? Do you like a little cool mishmash of your favorite action figures all jumbled in together? Well then, hey, have I got the show for you? That's this show. Tune in. We're gonna get to it in 3, 2, 1, go.
Top 5 releases.
First up today, we've got my favorite series in the whole wide world, or one of them, because I have many favorite series. That's Castlevania Reqium. This title is amazing because you're getting not only one, but 2 fantastic Castlevania games. It is out as we speak, as of this moment, so go pick it up and play it. You get Symphony of the Night, and you get Rondo of Blood. Let me tell you a real quick story about this. Rondo of Blood came out in Japan only a long, long time ago, and the main character was Richter Belmont, who is the Belmont clan guy. He wants to go fight old Dracula. Only the Belmonts can kill Dracula, or of course Alucard, which you'll learn in a little bit. Any of the who's. So in that one, Richter goes to the castle, Dracula's come up, blah, 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 blah. He saves the day, he walks away, everybody's happy. Well, guess what? Not even a year later, I think in the time span, or whatever, maybe it is 1 year later, the castle mysteriously rises again, and Richter's nowhere to be found. Who's going to save the day? So Alucard, Dracula's son, comes out of hiding and says, I'll figure out what's going on, dun, 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 and pursues Dracula into his castle to find out all sorts of strange things are going on, and maybe Dracula isn't the bad guy that's the ultimate bad guy, or is he? We don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to spoil it for you. All I do know is you get one of the coolest things ever is the flashback to Richter beating Dracula back in Rondo of Blood. Mm-hmm. And then you get the famous lines that are memes everywhere across the world of, you steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Ha! It's wonderful. It is wonderful.
Except you don't in this version.
No.
Because these are ports of the PSP version when they re-recorded the dialogue.
And they did.
So you get to be really sad and just go, oh.
Yes, and that is the one complaint that everyone, besides saying that the port's great but it's not perfect, is that the voiceovers are atrocious. They're even worse than the original voiceovers from the said games, which were already atrocious. But the music's all there, all the classic Castlevania music, the beautiful 2D art, everything's all there. Get this game because it gives you 2 amazing games in which you get to do and explore what basically kind of created that whole Metroidvania style and just gives you a look into the past, which I will say Symphony of the Night still holds up to this day as a great game. Anyway, Rondo of the Blood, though, is definitely more of the old school archaic Castlevania type game, but it's still awesome and fun nonetheless. So go check it out, PlayStation only. If you got any other system and don't have that, it sucks to be you.
And hey, speaking of great games you should play, Return of the Obra Dinn is out for PC and Mac. This is developed and published by, 3909 LLC. Basically, it's Lucas Pope. It's the guy who did Papers, Please, which was a fantastic game in its own right. You should go play that if you haven't yet. But in Return of the Obra Dinn, you play an insurance adjuster who, back in I think it's 1607, something like that, 1707. But the old colonial days, this ship has come back. It's like a ghost ship. Everybody on the ship is dead. You got to figure out what happened to everybody. What do you have to do that with? You got a logbook. You got a picture of everybody. You got a little journal. What else do you got? You got the Memento Mortem, which is a pocket watch-like device. So when you find a corpse, you can be like, hey, let me check it out. And it goes whoop, 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 whoop. And you get to see and hear the last few seconds of that corpse's life. So you get to look around and be like, oh, Billy was over there and Steve was over here. And you get to piece together who killed all of these people, or if not who killed them, how they all died. So you got to go through this entire ship, putting together this logic puzzle as you try and piece together clues from this guy's death and that guy's death, and the sounds you hear and the things you see in those last few moments. Really cool, also really cool graphical style. It's totally black and white, but like a 1-bit style with where they use dithering and cross-hatching and all these other graphical terms I don't even know what they mean to convey shading when it's really just black and white. And it looks really cool. There's nothing else that looks like it. If you look at it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But really cool game. I've been hearing people say the story is actually really good, the story of the crew and what happened, and it's really affecting, people and, lingering with them after they finish the game. I mean, even just graphically, it looks like nothing else, so you should play it. But, the whole concept of it, I'm totally into it. I'm I would get it if my PC would support it, so please give me a port to something else too. But Return of the Obra Dinn, everyone should play it. It looks freaking awesome.
Not to be outdone by that, next up on the list is Marvel's Spider-Man The Heist. Yes, everybody, Insomniac has just thrown out the first DLC of the 3, which I think they're going to have more, but right now it's just a 3-pack called The City That Never Sleeps, and it's all going to be based around Felicia Hardy, a.k.a. the Black Cat. This is the first of 3 in her story arc, so if you were expecting to finish it out with this one and then move on to something, you are incorrect, sir or ma'am. This actually ends with a couple missions in which they are a big cliffhanger from what I've been told. If you're wondering what to expect from this particular DLC, you get, as I just stated, a couple extra story missions. You're going to get 3 new costumes, none of which have new abilities, however, so just make that a note in the side of your little brain. You get a couple new burglary / activity types out and about in the world. You get a couple new you get a couple new enemy types, and I think that's about it. I think you get one more, like a grab and go, search around the whole environment sort of shit going on. And a lot of interaction between, of course, Felicia and Mary Jane and, of course, Peter Parker. So if that sounds like something right up your alley, which it should, because from all word and reports, Spider-Man was amazing, you're going to want to get back in that world and check it out.
So, hey, did you know that there's a game coming out that I was not excited for at all, and then I looked more into it, and now I'm super excited about it? Did you know that?
Nope.
Oh, well, that's Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales, and that's out for PC right now, and it's coming to PS4 and Xbox way later. I think it's in December, but I'm going to tell you all about that later in the episode, so stick around, suckers.
All right, to round it out in the old what's out, what's happening, guess what, everybody? Hello Games is still there, punching people in the face, handling business. They just released another, free update for their game, 1.7, The Abyss. What does this one do? Well, they want to take it into a more spooky, hey, it's Halloween, guess what? Makes sense, right? Domain, and that's the oceans. The oceans, by meaning the oceans of all the different planets and all the different places.
Do you get to go down and live like on a little underwater base and then find like a tentacle thing that comes up and makes a face, and then there's a crazy Russian guy who wants to blow everything up? Is that what this is about?
Yes. You're
awesome.
Almost correct.
That's a great movie.
There is a tentacle thing that has an eyeball that does some kind of weird, strange thing to you. So there you go. There's that. Basically, quick rundown of the Abyss. Hey, there's going to be whole new biomes, whole new creatures underwater, new plant life, new things to craft, harvest, etc. New abilities for you to go underwater and explore in an increasingly better, more adventurous environment, because, of course, before it was a little bit bland. They've been working hard on the land, but now they're getting into the oceans. In your current labs and studies, you can now add in cool little ocean flora, like fish tanks, things like that. And in your underwater labs, you can add windowed hallways so you can look out. That kind of stuff's all been added.
Nice.
And the coolest thing here, which I thought was really neat and made me slightly interested, was that they were like, well, you know what? In your scuba gear and your little jetpack, that's all neat and fun, but it takes too long to get places, right? And you're vulnerable to the creatures that inhabit said ocean, and of which they added a ton of, so that way you're feeling more immersed in this world, or worlds. They went ahead and said, hey, we're going to let you craft a cool little submarine. So now you can make a submarine in which you can traverse the whole area, explore, find new things, get new crafted stuff, all that good stuff that everyone loves to do in No Man's Sky.
Awesome.
Yes. So if this free update sounds like it's something you're interested in, grab it. It's free. It costs you absolutely nothing. And if you haven't picked up the game this weekend or right now, I can't remember which, sorry, it's on sale, hardcore sale. So consider picking it up. And we've talked about this many times before. They've really stepped up their game. They've improved it 100-fold. It's come around. People are playing it again. The multiplayer's out. Check it out.
Number 5.
Now, first up this week, we got an Uncle Matt special. What do I always say? This is a game from a series that's really near and dear to my heart. Oh my goodness. It's Warriors Orochi 4, developed by Omega Force, published by Koei Tecmo. This is out for Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. What is Warriors Orochi? Have you never played an Orochi game? Do you not know what it is? Oh my god, it's like if you took Dynasty Warriors and you took Samurai Warriors and you smashed them together. It's like you were a little kid on the playground. You got your G.I. Joes and your Ninja Turtles, and now they're all fighting together. Oh my God, so good. So many characters. You got 170 characters from both of those games, plus, unique ones from the Orochi series. You got I think there's like 5 or 6 new characters, brand new to any series in this game, because now they're bringing in Greek gods and Norse gods. And it's just, it's a Warriors game. So if you like Warriors, you're going to love this, because you're going to play with all your favorite characters. You're going to be going through all these crazy revamped battlefields. They will be pretty much the same ones, I think mostly from Dynasty Warriors 8 and Samurai Warriors 4. So you'll be fighting on the same battlefield areas, but they'll be revamped with the Warriors Orochi theme. And some of these stages actually are like two-parters. Like if there's like a big castle stage, you'll start in the bottom with a castle from Dynasty Warriors, and then halfway up it'll turn into the layouts from Samurai Warriors. You get a little bit of a jumble up, you get a little bit of a matchup, which is what Warriors Orochi is all about. All your favorite characters here. You command a 3-man team in any one battle, and each character has its own little type. You can have like speed type, technique, and I think power, and they all come with their own styles of abilities, like little special abilities you can use. New to the series in this update, in this edition, is magic. Now each character has his own kind of magic attacks. You hold down a bumper button, and you hit the face buttons, and it's like, giant AoE damage, or like raining down poison or elemental effects. Really cool stuff. I love the Warriors Orochi series because it's stable. It's solid. You can play Warriors Orochi 1, 2, 3, and 4 and not have to deal with all like the really weird system changes that they introduce in some of the Dynasty Warriors games. Like you can go from like 3 to 4 and it's the same, but if you start going into like 6, now all the character models are different. They got different weapons. They got all this other stuff. Warriors Orochi is all your favorites. Like I said, it kind of pulls from 8 and 4 a little more than some of the other ones, but it has that classic Warriors feel. So if you don't like the strange directions they went, like, what was it, 9 that just came out? There was an open world game. You had to do all these crazy missions. You don't have to do that shit in Warriors Orochi 4. It's classic. You drop into the stage, you go do the stuff, you kill enemies, you kill thousands upon thousands of enemies. You destroy enemy generals, you get cool loot. The only drawback to this, if you did like the system in the past, is there's no like base camp setup. And I think it was Warriors Orochi 3. You could pick your team, go into camp, and it'd be like, hey, go over here to forge your weapons, go over here to manage your items, go over here. Now it's all menu driven, but you still get all that good character interaction. You get a group of 3 characters from all the different franchises. They'll be interacting, bantering back and forth. Really cool stuff. I love Warriors Orochi. Like I said, it's just like you're in the sandbox with your 2 favorite franchises. Now they're together. Now you're having a great time. It's awesome. I love it. It's out now. I'm going to get it. I'm going to have a great time. Boom.
Number 4.
So Bandai Namco's at it again, everybody. As of October 19th, Soulcalibur VI has graced us with its presence in the world. What a fantastic series this is. I have a storied history with this particular series. And by storied, I mean 1, I loved. 2, I loved. And 3, I went insane on and never played a Soulcalibur game again. So, what is it? Of course, well, guess what? It's a fighting game, but what makes this one better and cooler than all the other fighting games is the fact that every single character in it wields some kind of crazy weapon blade of some kind. And that is why it's amazing. You get characters all over the board. You got nunchucks, you got Ivy with her frickin' thorn, blade whip. It's frickin' amazing. Siegfried with his giant greatsword. Nightmare with the alternate giant greatsword. Keelik with his stupid bow staff that nobody loves or cares about. All sorts of wonderful characters with all sorts of cool abilities, different strengths, different weaknesses, going at it. You want to make sure that you understand how to set up your combos, do the parries, do the dodges, do the blocks. And new to Soulcalibur 6, they have this thing called a reversal edge. And what this does, it allows you to, like, when a player's coming up and about to do an attack, you get like a flash second to counter that, and then dive in and lead the attack. This is not uncommon. It's in a lot of other fighting games, but now it's in Soulcalibur 6, boys and girls, which adds all sorts of new strategy and timing to an already fantastic fighting game. Oh, God, that just sounds so good. This does not carry on the story, though. This is actually going back to part 1's story and revisiting it, and as it says, finding hidden truths. And let me just say it's a load of shit because nobody cares about the Soulcalibur story because it makes absolutely no sense. It never has. It never will. If you're playing for the story, you're an insane person. Now, with that being said, the story mode is cool, as it always is. It's fun just to go around and go into the different areas and then the just outlandish ridiculousness of, why are you here? I heard you came through a portal. Now I'm going to fight you because I heard you took the eye out of my sister. What? I came through a portal. You just said I came through a portal. Yeah, but you know what? You had time. Okay, whatever. Let's fight, and I'll beat you, and then I'll ascend to the clouds and fight some other random weird dude. It's great. Yes, that's what you get. There's also, of course, multiplayer modes, which I hear are pretty cool. I don't really know too much about them, but I'm assuming it's the typical story-like stuff you go through, and you can fight with a partner, all that good stuff. Build your characters, which, build your character. Man, you got over 100 little spaces to build all sorts of different characters and people. I've already seen like Ronald McDonald out there and a couple other crazy ones. Yeah. So if you're interested in not just playing as your typical Soulcalibur characters, you can actually build your own and just have all sorts of grand adventures, raising and pillaging all the different baddies that you come across in this world. That's the way to do it. And you know what, Matt? To tie it all together about something you're going to be talking about, the special character, because if you didn't know, Soulcalibur typically always has a special character to it they introduce to the series for funsies, is Geralt from The Witcher. So,
is he in this one?
Yes, he is in this one, Matt. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember because I heard it so long ago. I think it's when it was officially announced because they just announced that 2B from Nier Automata will be in it too. Mm-hmm. So I was like, maybe that was the last one? Because I always get Soulcaliburs confused because I've never been really into them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, nope, Geralt's here, my friend. And yes, and the other one is, there you go, the chick from Nier. So if you're looking for some fun and you want to get good at playing with swords, blades, stabs, all that good stuff, check out Soulcalibur because it's a tried and true classic and it does everything it needs to in this one to keep the franchise smart, sick, and amazing. And of course, I didn't state, it is on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. No Nintendo Switch. God, it's terrible. Terrible.
Man, every time one comes out, I've never gotten into Soulcalibur because I'm not a big 3D fighter guy, but every time one comes out, I go, man, that looks so cool. That looks so slick and sexy. I just want to play that. I want to be that like hula hoop blade girl and just like...
Oh, yeah, she is amazing. What was her name? God.
Kula or Kira or some Tila or something with
it. Tacky? No, that's the
No,
ninja.
Tacky's the...
Tira.
Yeah.
Tira, that's her. Yep, Tira.
I was close.
Yeah, you
see,
had
it's fine.
There it is.
But yeah, I see that, and then I see all the creative character stuff, and I'm just like, I need to get this. And I go, I got too many games. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Then I never
I'm in the same boat. Plus, like I told you, part 3, I learned my lesson. Mm-hmm. How do they know what I'm gonna do? It's impossible. Yes, many heart attacks were had. But of course, I do miss Cervantes, my man. I'll always miss him. He's so amazing.
Pirate dude.
Yeah. The best character ever in that series. But, like you said, there's so much to do, so much to play.
Number 3.
And hey, speaking of so much to do and so much to play, what you should play is Thronebreaker The Witcher Tales. This is out, like I said, PC right now. So if you got a good PC, you need to be getting this on good old games. It's only $30. Oh my god. It's also going to be coming to PS4 and Xbox One in December. I think the release date is December 12th. That's what I looked up. Developed and published by CD Projekt Red. Oh my god, if you love The Witcher, you need to be playing this game. When I first heard it announced, they were like, hey, look, it's a new story in the Witcher universe. And I was like, okay, but it's got card battle mechanics like Gwent. And I was like, it can't be a very good story. But from what I've been hearing from all the reviews and all the previews, you're talking about a 40-hour campaign with all the moral choice and weighty decisions of a Witcher game. So you're traveling around. You're basically the queen of this big army. I'm assuming something bad happens because you got to fight wars in different places. But you're going around collecting followers, and your choices can make those followers, join you, not join you. All the followers have specific skills that can help you out either in battle or in storyline things. So if Bobby the Knight over here, he's from Bajuju Land, and you got to go through Bajuju Land, talk to the knights and the king and whatever. If you got Bobby on your team, he's going to be like, hey, look, I'm from Bajuju Land. Hey, you might have easier passage. Or if he's like a dirty mercenary that everybody hates, maybe you'll have a harder time. And it's important to keep those followers with you because they give you access to their hero cards, which you use in battle. And like I said, I've teased it before, the battling all takes place in the Gwent mechanic. Now, what I really did like about this is, it is the newfangled Gwent, so it's kind of more Hearthstone-y, where you're attacking other cards and destroying other cards. But from what I've seen, some of the battles you can resolve in the traditional Gwent fashion. Like, you don't have to destroy cards. If you can get, within that round, the higher total on your side than the enemy side, you'll rout them. They'll flee, you'll move on to the new round with new cards. So that totally speaks to me, because I don't like the Hearthstone attacking style of Gwent that the standalone Gwent game went to. So in this story, as you're going along, as you're battling, you're exploring 6 different maps, all different themes of different areas in the Witcher universe that you haven't been to before, like the dwarven area of Mahakam, which apparently is a big snowy, mountainous region. You get to explore that. You get to go through all these maps, doing the main quests, doing side quests, finding puzzle battles that require you to use specific decks to clear them. You get a certain number of cards. You got to clear this battle in this many turns, or do this much damage, or survive this much damage, or whatever it is. So this really, it really gives you a full RPG and a full card battle game. So if you like either one of those, I think this is going to be the perfect blending of both. I'm not a big card battle guy, but the fact that I'm getting a 40-hour campaign with full-on Witcher story, that's going to seal the deal. Now, the only bad thing I've heard about this is that you can't save specific decks at this point. I'm sure that's going to come in the future. So if you know the next battle, you're going to be dealing with a lot of archers or whatever it is. You can't save a deck like Archer Counter Deck. You have to go through, redo your deck each time, or, fight the battle, lose, go, okay, well, I need this. But I'm sure that's going to be coming down the line, because that's what they do. That's what they did in Witcher 3. That's what they did in Gwent. I'm sure that's going to be coming. This just looks phenomenal. It looks gorgeous too. It looks really good. It sounds really good. The map screen kind of plays from an isometric perspective, so you're kind of walking around Diablo style, down the road and around, to find the different towns and stuff. And then when you go into story segments, it's kind of, kind of cutscene. Here's the backdrop. Here's your 2 character portraits. They're animated as they're talking back and forth. It just looks so good. CD Projekt Red does the right thing with every single game they make. This one looks like no exception. As soon as I saw it in action, I was 100% sold on it. I just wish I had a better computer, so I'm going to be waiting until December to finally be playing this game, but I'm jealous of all you suckers with the good computers, because you should be playing it right now, and you should be just rubbing it in my face, going, hey, sucker, look at all this cool shit I do, and I go, oh, man, I got to wait.
I got the computer, Matt, but I don't got the money to get it. So there you go.
So at least I can't hate you.
Exactly. Well, you can hate me, but for my 5 million other reasons, probably. Man, oh man, dang it. Good. I still got to play Witcher 3, so, someday down the road.
I'll finish it.
I got to skip.
I got to that island of Snarba Barba.
Yeah.
Number 2.
So this game would be, we can't not mention this one. It's just this tiny little game, Matt. I always forget.
Are you doing Eric's mini game showcase?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to flip it up here. Mini game showcase, and it's this tiny little game by Rockstar. It's called Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know. People are getting all in a tizzy about it. And
I've never heard of anything like that.
Well, it's an indie developer. These small people. They made this GTA game that is so neat, And now they're starting to get some cash in. It's crazy. Whatever. Jeez. So this game apparently is a prequel to their other Red Dead Redemption game that they came out with a long time ago. So you already know how it's going to end for the most part. So this is a build-up of Arthur and his gang and Dutch and all these characters and how they got to the points where they were up in Red Dead Redemption, the original. So in that sense, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's neat, but prequel's always like cool. But since you already know, like, oh, he's gonna die, or she's not gonna die, or he's gonna turn into this, or turn into that, or do things, no spoilers. You're like, well, all right, neato, I guess. Doesn't matter what I do. So,
yeah, I thought that was kind of weird when I heard that, because I was assuming it was like, oh, 10 years later, there's something else going on, or whatever, or you're playing a totally different character. But then they're like, hey, it's a prequel, and I went, but I know this gang breaks up, and the guy's got to get hired to go shoot him because that's what happened. But I will say, I mean, from what I see, like, doing gang stuff looks really cool. So I can see why they did it, because that looks freaking awesome. When they're doing, like, train heists and shit,
yes.
Oh, my God.
And see, that's the beauty of this game, is this is exactly one of those titles I had zero interest in. Not going to lie. No interest. I think I've mentioned it before. It was the same with God of War. Didn't care. Had no interest in it. Now,
and they're reeling you back in just like they did with that one.
Here they are. Oh, I'm watching people play this, and I'm going to tell you one quick story of a particular streamer, Gathalion, in a second. But I'm watching individuals play this game, and I'm falling in love with it just through watching it. Because, as you said, you're part of a gang, you're part of Dutch's gang, and stuff is going down, everything's going bonkers. It later clears up. Who knows? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Once again, I shouldn't say spoilers. Any of the who's, you're doing, like you said, train heists. You're out there like, oh, hey, I need you to go get this dude up right now. And you'll go to the town to find this guy. And then some other dude's like, I'm taking him out. I'm killing him. You're like, no, you're not. So you go to kill him. And then all of a sudden, you're in this huge 6-on-1 brawl going on. But the best part about it is because you're in this gang, guess what? Old Henry over here was happening to be over there trying to get some information. He sees you're in trouble. Randomly, he comes running over to help you out, starts fighting with you. Now it's a 2-on-6 battle going on. People are cheering. People are going nuts because the NPCs can be interacted with. All of them can be interacted with. You can punch them, shoot them, kill them, whatever. It doesn't matter. And there's always repercussions for those actions.
That's another thing that got me so interested in the game. Because, I mean, before you'd have, like, a guy would run up and be like, you suck, John Marston. And you could, like, shoot him, and then that would be it. But, like, that you can actually have conversations with some of these NPCs. I've seen just a couple, like, quick little video hits of it. Of just, like, you can walk up to a guy on the street and just talk to him. Like, that's freaking awesome. That's freaking amazing.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds little, and it sounds stupid for me to say that, but in an open-world game, they're not just bodies walking around.
Yeah, just nothingness, just there.
Yeah.
You can talk to them. Not only can you talk to them, but oftentimes they say different things. So depending on where they're at, what time of the day is, what's going on, they'll say different stuff to you. And even sometimes they don't even tell you. It's not like there's a quest bubble over their heads. But if you interact with different individuals and then you get into a scenario in that town or something later on, depending on your actions, that person may or may not help, come in with a good word, this or that. So everything you do kind of has like a little bit of detail on the world around you. And then the cooler part, too, is that the actual quest, those like just I'm randomly out and somebody's wagons breaks down or the horses get loose and you go out and you get them all back together. Say that person's like, hey, thanks, you really did me a solid. You didn't have to help him. You could have just kept going. Heck, you could have shot the guy, stole his horses, whatever. But if you help him, then you go on about your business. You end up in that town later on in the game and the sheriff's trying to get you, capture you because you stole a cookie. All of a sudden, old Sen Bowie comes out and says, oh, he's a good guy. He helped me with my horses back there. Hey, don't you give him a pass. Yeah, I'll buy his cookie. Here you go. Boom. Now in a scenario where you're going to end up having to kill the sheriff and then, of course, get run out of town and then that town's over with. Now you're saved because you did a thing, 2-3 hours ago. The dynamics of that are fantastic. It just instantly I went, oh, I want to be there. I want that to be me making cold-blooded decisions. Which brings me to a funny little story before I go into the gang part and like your camp. So as I said, there's this streamer I watch, Gathalion. Cool guy. Check him out, definitely. He had a guy on the back of his horse, and he had to press him for information, right? So he's on this horse, and he's goofing off. He's trying to find some train tracks to tie this guy to. He's decided this is the way he wants to get information from him. 15 minutes of trying to find the perfect set of train tracks in which there's a train that's going to be coming anytime soon, obviously. Otherwise, you're going to stay in there for an hour, 2 hours. Finally gets there. All this time, all this setup for it, all this laughing and saying what he's going to do. He gets there. He's got the guy tied up. He takes him on the railroad tracks, lays him down, and then he starts walking away, puts his hand behind his back, starts to the interrogation. The whole time he's like, and you're going to tell me, right? you're looking back and you see the son of a gun wiggling around. All of a sudden his hands come free. He sits up, undoes his own legs, and then just starts running off. 20 minutes of build up. Thinking you're going to be this cool bad man pajama. If you don't tell me what I need to know, I'm letting the train kill you. Dude just gets out of his bonds and runs away. It's like, whatever, man. Instantly, that part, I was like, okay. Gosh dang it, man. I want to play this now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he goes into his camp. Because like you said, the different gangs have camps outside of the different towns. And you go set up, and you can craft things to make your little camp area cooler and better. And which, of course, if you didn't know, there's a crafting system in which you can get all sorts of saddles and camp stuff, following stuff, all this, which I think is going to play into the multiplayer aspect down the road, because they intend to do like a GTA with this, in which they're going to have this whole multiverse going and people interacting and having a good time. So this is only the beginning. But you can customize your camp and make it the way you want it to be. You can customize, obviously, your character, Arthur, give him the beard, give him the clean shave,
Oh, that's the other thing that I thought was so cool. It's not to interrupt, but they were talking about, like, as day and night progress in real time, so too does your character, like, actually grow hair, and he can get really skinny if you don't eat, or, like, fatter if you do eat. Like, stuff from GTA San Andreas that they haven't done ever since then. It's back now in this game, and I was just like, I love character customization. Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yes, that was amazing. And then you can do the same thing with the horses. Like, you can get horses, different colored horses, all that. If you don't treat them right, they get all scared and finicky. You can, be loyal to them, treat them right, and then they get all loyal. The basics, all that stuff, all is there. Your campmates, everything you say and do with them depends on whether they like you or think you're a complete douche magoosh. So it just all ties into every interaction you have. There's like different chains of dialogue in which you can be the good guy, the bad guy, the indifferent guy, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds into this whole character that you get to make, and actually feels different, because you can and will have completely different experiences depending on what kind of play style you have.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy. And of course, I don't need to say it. It's Rockstar. The graphics are fantastic. The music's really good. The voice acting's on point. Just a gorgeously awesome game with all sorts of cool customizable things, unique pathways for you to explore and be whoever you want to be. It's a Wild West game, which you don't see a ton of. Man, I didn't want to like this game. I didn't want to buy this game. I just wanted to disappear. And now I'm like, God, I got to donate blood. Which, funny story, real life friend Brent donated blood today and bought the game yesterday. So he had to sacrifice his plasma, and he now owns this game. That's how good it is. People are giving up their blood to buy it. And I'm thinking of doing the same.
The more we're talking about it right now, I'm just like, I'm going to get off the podcast, and I'm just going to go start downloading it. I'm just going to go on PSN and just get it, because I have to get it.
I have to get it, too. I was going to I tried not to, but I can't miss this one. This is going to be another God of War one, where if I miss this, I'll forever regret it. But I will tell you guys, lastly, PlayStation 4, Xbox, PC, it plays best on the Xbox One X, from what I've heard, with all the bells and whistles. Everything makes it look gorgeous. So if you can and have all the systems, that's probably where you're going to want to buy it. But I have heard that it's still gorgeous no matter what on all the platforms. As is. So there you go, man. This game's awesome. Get it. Don't miss out. I want to tie a man to train tracks and have him run away from me too, just so I can shoot him in his kneecaps and then get caught by a sheriff and just go back to town and murder everybody. Good stuff. Great game. Check it out.
Number 1.
To wrap up tonight, we finally got information on what the PlayStation Classic games are going to be for both North America and, of course, Japan. Because if you didn't know, when it comes to PlayStation, they love to just segregate us from them and make themselves better than us. They can't help it. They just can't stop themselves. So I'll go ahead and verbatim read out the list. We'll kind of talk about it a little bit, and then I'll just say why I'm sad, because there's a couple key ones the Japanese are getting it. We're not getting. All right. Is everybody ready? You all ready for this? And let me just say, there's still some cool titles, so it's not all bad. Battle Arena Toshinden. Don't have a clue what that one is. Sounds
That's
great.
That's a 3D fighter, kind of like Soulcalibur. Actually, I think you got weapons. Obviously it's PlayStation 1, so
Okay, yeah, old school.
chunky graphics.
Cool Borders 2. I remember this game. It was big for its time. I'll give it some props. It was all right.
I never played that one.
All right. Destruction Derby. I have no idea what this one is. Do you know what that one is?
I mean the 2-second clip they showed in their announcement thing.
Yeah.
It looked kind of cool. I mean, it's a demolition derby.
I mean, yeah,
What do
we
you want?
figured that, of course. You got Final Fantasy VII. That's an amazing game. Of course. Fine. Have a great time with that one. Don't just hem and haw, Matt. That is a great game. Don't be on the side of the world. It's overrated. It's probably only like the 6th best Final Fantasy.
Well, you know me. I'm a 2D Final Fantasy
That's
guy.
true. Yeah.
Still, it's a legendary game. I'll give you that.
It is. Grand Theft Auto, the OG. That's a good one. Classic, exactly.
I played that one to death.
Yep. Intelligent Cube. That's a good puzzle game. I'll give it that.
I always heard good stuff about it, but I never played it.
Mm-hmm. You got Jumping Flash. I have no idea what that is. I don't know if you know that one. Don't know.
I couldn't even parse out the 2-second clip. Yeah. I was just like, I don't know what that is.
I have no idea. Metal Gear Solid, the OG.
The legend!
Yeah,
the legend!
Oh, that one is a good one. If you love Metal Gear Solid, which I don't, but I should. It is amazing.
But you will.
And I will.
You get it.
I'm going to get it. Oh, yeah. Mr. Driller, a fantastic game. Great choice. Good on him.
I think I played one on my DS Lite when I was in my flashcard phase. Awesome, like you said. Really underrated. Really cool.
I agree with that one. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. This was a fantastic game as well. Kind of like brought about a whole cool little era of the puzzle, adventure gaming type thing going on. Like Lemmings, but better.
That's one I never played. I played the third Abe's game, which was pretty good, but I never played the OG.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Rayman. What needs to be said? That's a great platformer adventure type game. Good things.
What needs to be said is that I've never played that one.
Oh, my God, man. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Duh. A fantastic game as well. Oh, just got to love the dog room. You played this one.
I was never a big RE
Oh.
fan, but I acknowledge the legendary status of this one as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Revelations, Persona. Now, see, this one I've never played. However, I'm now a Persona fan, and now I want to play this one. So this one's definitely a big thumbs up, ready to rock and roll on my list.
This is basically the reason I want to get this.
Ridge Racer Type 4. Not my shtick, not been a big fan of racing games, but I couldn't tell you if that's a great one or not. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. I never played this one.
Oh, my God. I played the Game Boy Advance port. I love Super Puzzle Fighter. I love it so much. This is another really good one.
Oh, well, there you go. Siphon Filter. I don't know. Not my shtick. I don't know if it holds up.
We talked about this before we went on the air. I liked it when it was first out, and then I got like a retro copy of it. I went to the retro game store. I was like, hell yeah, Siphon Filter. And I put it in. It was like 10 years later, and I went, oh boy, that doesn't hold up well at all. So,
Yeah.
again, legendary status. Or maybe gold status. I'll give it gold status. Maybe not legendary, but a famous game, so I can see why they did it.
Tekken 3. Duh, that's a no-brainer. I expected that one to be on there from the word go. Great fighter. Awesome stuff. Classic. Made that whole tournament, Tekken 3 time when everybody was playing in tournaments. It was a thing. You know what I mean? It was a moment in time.
Yeah.
So, no surprise there. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I never played it. I have no idea.
I never played it either, but I always heard so much good stuff about it because that's what you actually have to like tactically plan because you get shot and dead in one hit. So
beautiful, I can dig it. Twisted Metal. This is again a classic.
Yeah.
Has to be on here. No surprise that it is. If you don't know, you run around in crazy vehicles blowing each other up in arenas.
I can guarantee this one doesn't hold up though.
Oh God,
I can guarantee it.
Ugh. God.
Like I tried to watch somebody play Twisted Metal Black the other day, and I was like, "Oh, that looks awful. That looks awful." And that was on PS2. So this one's just going to be oof,
real bad. And lastly, Wild Arms. And this title is just a part of my heart. It's a part of my RPG history. So I love and adore it to death. But this is another one we talked about off air, and it does not hold up. Holy cow! It's a disgusting looking video game. So while I'm happy it's there, I don't think you're just run-of-the-mill individual. Even an individual who appreciates RPGs is going to be able to get behind this one because it just does not look good anymore whatsoever.
I even played it at the time, and it was ugly then, but it was still passable. And now, anytime I look at it, I just go, oh, the 2D stuff in the overworld, that still looks good, but you go into those chibi polygons, oh,
yeah,
no.
Bad mamma jamma. So that's the 20 games. That's the list we got. Like I said, there's some good titles in there, but for myself, there's a lot of notably missing ones that I am just angry. You know, Final Fantasy Tactics, Chrono Cross, Soul Reaver. Where are these at? Where's Parasite Eve at, huh? Well, I can tell you where it's at, Matt. Parasite Eve is over on the Japanese version. Because, as I said, they got a couple different games. They got, like, a Gradius game we didn't get. They got the Arc the Lad series that we didn't get. They got the Saga Frontier, which we didn't get. And, of course, as I just said, they got Parasite Eve. I think those would have been much better titles than, you know, some of these weirder ones that I've never even heard of. But that's just me.
And I'll start throwing in, where are Final Fantasy 8 and 9?
Yes.
If you're going to have 7, put them both on there.
Exactly.
Also, where in the ever-loving Shazbot are Suikoden 1 and 2?
Oh,
my absolute favorites. Where is Xenogears so I can not beat it again?
These titles. Where?
And I think the killer for me is, like, I want to get it for Persona and, you know, a couple of these other ones. But for the most part, all these games that I remember that I like, I still have my physical hard copies of them. They're in the tote. I can pull them out, and I can pull out my PS1 out of the tote too, or I can just go over here to my PS3, just feed them right in the disc drive, and just play them like normal. So $100 to play one game out of,
that's a no-go. Yeah, there's only one or two on there that I'm really interested in. So once again, $100 just isn't quite worth it for me. But if they had included maybe 5 or 6 of the ones I have just mentioned, I would have considered grabbing it up for Christmas. You know, when I got some extra bucks on my hands, because it'd be great to just put on the TV down here and throw in. But they didn't. They didn't do it, Matt. And I don't even think they really added any great, like, you know, just fun kid games, really, except for Rayman, Mr. Driller, you know. Nothing really big on there that, like, I could even justify going, hey, the kids would love it. So, unfortunately, man.
The kids will love Metal Gear Solid,
yeah,
I can guarantee you
they'll
that.
totally understand and get into that quick.
hey, Elaine will love hearing all the crazy voices and the dialogue in that.
She will probably like that part, yes.
See, there you go.
Oh, goodness. So what do you guys think? What are some of the missing games out there for this bad boy that should have been there, no-brainer? Because I'll mention one more, Resident Evil 2 and 3. Duh. Like you said, if you're going to put one, why don't you put them all on there? It just makes sense. What ones are missing for all of you out there? All you old folks who've played the PlayStation back in the heyday and go, these are my favorite titles. And of course, they're missing millions of them. I want to hear. And I want to hear maybe somebody out there is like, hey, these are the coolest titles in the whole wide world. This is the best PlayStation classic you could ever come up with. You know what? I want to know. I'm curious.
And hey, if you want to let us know your thoughts on all that stuff, head on over to the Imposters Wrap-Up, where we'll tell you all about how to do that.
Imposters Wrap-Up.
So yes, let us know your thoughts on the PlayStation Mini, the PlayStation 1 Classic, whatever it actually is called, because all the websites call it like a million different things. I don't even know. Let us know what you think. And hey, if you got any other questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to talk about, if you just want to say hi, you can drop us a line via email at info@thirdshift.me. You can tweet at us at ThirdShiftME. And by golly, you can still find us on Facebook under Third Shift.
Indeed you can. You can also find us over at Patreon, where you, too, can head on over there and say, these guys were great. These guys deserve $1, $2, $5, $1,000, $1 million. Because you know what? We treat it just like a tip jar, and everything you can and do for us is very much appreciated. And to our current patrons, as always, we very much appreciate you guys and gals. You make the show what it is, and you keep us motivated to keep on chugging along and putting this out there. If you cannot, however, tip, because you know what? Money is tight. You got to live your life. You got to pay them bills. You got
to buy Red Dead Redemption 2.
You got to donate plasma for Red Dead Redemption 2. You can support us with, like I said, feedback on the questions we're asking you, comments on Facebook, likes, all the good things on the Twitters and the iTunes and all the other accessories and computer things out in the world that tell us we're good. That's an idea. There you go.
There we go, indeed. And hey, this podcast, of course, drops every 2 weeks on Tuesday. So we'll be back in your ear holes on the 13th of November for our very next episode. And you can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, and on Podbean, and on Spotify, and on YouTube, for God's sakes. And if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services. Follow us on Twitch, for God's sakes, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it.
Indeed we do. And with that, we always say we appreciate those 5-star reviews. If you want to hear a couple fantastic 5-star stories, hey, why don't you go listen to our Halloween special over at Third Shift Proper, because we had a good time, everybody. I'm just saying. If you only listen to this one, you might want to just check the Halloween special out. We had a little bit of a time and maybe a couple guest appearances. And with that, Matt,
we indeed have a little bit of a time, Eric. I do declare we had ourselves a time.
We did,
see, I'm getting into that old West style here. I'm already in my Red Dead.
You're ready.
I do declare.
I am Arthur. I shall put on my hat and
put on my top hat. Hello.
And with that, Matt, there's nothing else to say. But don't
forget to save.
I do decree.